Setrock Creek Falls is a medium-sized waterfall with a very interesting shape to it. It is a waterfall that I would recommend visiting after there has been a significant amount of rain prior. When the water level is lower like it was at the time of this video, it can be a bit underwhelming. However, since it is such a short hike, it may still be worth checking out regardless, especially if you are already in the area. The combined out and back distance from the parking lot to the falls is just over 1 mile. The trail is pretty easy and it does not seem to be very heavily trafficked. The parking lot for Setrock Creek Falls Trail is located off of State Highway 80 in Burnsville, North Carolina. You will need to turn onto South Toe River Road and continue for just over 3 miles. A mile or two before reaching the parking lot, the road changes to dirt, but it is still pretty wide and smooth. You'll come to one area where the road sort of splits. You'll need to continue around the curve to the right to stay on South Toe River Road. I strongly recommend checking out Roaring Fork Falls as well. It is another short hike to a waterfall that I admittedly prefer over Setrock Creek Falls. To get to Roaring Fork Falls Trailhead, you would need to make a left onto Busick Works Center Road shortly after turning onto South Toe River Road. There is a link to my video of Roaring Fork Falls in the description and at the end of this video. This is a great hike for kids. It is short and there does not appear to be any drop-offs to worry about. There is a small but good place for them to play in the water and on the rocks at the base of the falls. This is also a good trail for dogs. Any dog should be able to handle the hikes of the falls, and as long as they are not afraid to walk in some shallow water, they should be able to get over near the base of the falls as well. I believe dogs are required to be on leashes. This is not a waterfall that I would particularly recommend for photographers, but with that said, I have seen some pretty nice photos of it online. I think you would definitely need to catch it after a good bit of rain to get a good photo. There is also very uneven lighting in the falls, which would make taking a good photo more challenging. It is probably best to go on a pretty cloudy day. The location of the trail that leads to Setrock Creek Falls is very unclear. You will come to a medium-sized paved parking lot to the left. This seems to be the only parking area for people who are not staying in the Black Mountain campground that the trail runs through. There is a trail that takes off in the parking lot. This is not the trail that takes you to Setrock Creek Falls. For some strange reason, this is sometimes labeled as the Mount Mitchell Trailhead, but it actually starts off by heading away from Mount Mitchell, so it would be a very roundabout way of getting there. There's also another place on the way to Setrock Creek Falls where you'll see a sign for Mount Mitchell. That trail does head in the direction of Mount Mitchell, but it is still about 6 miles one way to Mount Mitchell even from there. There's of course a much shorter trail at Mount Mitchell State Park that takes you to the summit of Mount Mitchell. To get to the correct trail, you will need to walk across the road bridge that leads into the campground. There's an area next to the bridge where you can get down to the river. Straight across the bridge, you will also see a little visitor center type building that has bathrooms. After crossing the bridge, you will need to head down the leftmost dirt road. Then after a short distance, the road curves a little to the right, and there you will see the trailhead on the left. This is the way you need to go, although none of the signs at the trailhead are for Setrock Creek Falls. The trail runs parallel to the dirt road for a while. The trail here is smooth enough to ride a bike on, and it is only a little uphill. There is a spot or two where you can get a glimpse of the river to the left. The first trail that takes off to the right is for Mount Mitchell. You will of course continue straight until you reach the second side trail marked for Setrock Creek Falls. The trail crosses the dirt road before getting slightly more challenging. You'll continue for a little bit longer before you reach the falls. There are some big rocks to the right you may be able to hang out on. You can then get all the way to the base of the falls by traversing some rocks through pretty shallow water. If you want, you can also get in the water right under the final small drop of the falls. Thank you for watching. Click the link to watch my video of Roaring Fork Falls, and consider subscribing for more informative hiking videos.